That time when I was with this woman and I got mad and I lost it, I actually bought petrol with the intention of burning myself with the house. I wanted to commit suicide. I wanted to end my life. I wish I had a male figure that was going to tell me what a man is, what a man is expected to be. If I'm dating a girl, we are in high school, she's bunking class already, on that day she's bunking class and you can see it and she's doing it in her conscious mind, that should tell you that's not wife material.
Yeah.
At least for that
time frame, yeah.
You know?
So that means probably when you saw that your girlfriend was pregnant, that flicked like, I don't want to be like my father.
It flicked a switch in my head, and I just wanted to be the best man I can be. And I wanted to raise my son the best way I never experienced.
Long conversations with Herald Kavuala, where truth is spoken boldly, minds are challenged, and legacy is built.
Welcome back to Raw Conversations with me, Herald Kavuala. Today I'm joined by Mr. Bongani Diala, also known as Mr. DJ Extra Flavor, founder and managing director of Take 5 Events and Promotions. You guys can catch him on Facebook if you want to know all about his events company. If you want to hit him up, get to know some details, just catch him on Facebook. Mr. Bongani, thank you so much for joining me. I'm really honored.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here.
It's a pleasure, man. I'm just to give a brief breakdown of how Mr. Bongani and I got in contact. I shot an episode not so long ago regarding GBV with Tombi Kaisi. And through her, obviously, as she said in her previous episode, she's got an outreach program where she's reaching out to men to speak on their experiences and so on and so forth. And today, like I said, Mr. Bongani is here to join me, and I'm honored and actually very, very thankful that he's actually able to come and speak about his experience regarding GBV. Remember, I've always said GBV happens to both male and woman, man and woman. It's just that men don't speak about it. But Bongani, through strength and courage, is here. He's going to tell us his experience. And I hope this also opens up men to actually be confident enough to say, you know what, it's not a bad thing to actually speak about what happened. It doesn't take anything away from you. It doesn't make you weak as a man. It doesn't discredit you, but it just makes makes all of us aware that it happens to us men as well. So Mr. Bongani, let's start off with just give us a brief summary of who you are before we even get into the whole discussion.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Mr. Harold. You know, every time I get that question, I really, my mind, starts
going everywhere. Like, how do I start?
I don't know where to start. But basically, Bongani is not a young man anymore, but he's a young man.
I get it.
That was born in Krugersdorp. And raised around the area of Sunspray, Honeydew.
Oh, okay.
And I've basically been a Joburger almost all my life, but originally my parents are from the Eastern Cape.
Okay.
My dad is in Cape Town at the moment.
Okay.
Living there with his family, and and I'm here in Joburg. The closest relatives I have here is my mom's family.
Okay. Are you the only child?
No, there's two of us.
Okay.
I'm the first born, and then I have a younger brother.
Okay.
Bulelani. I'm a young person that was sort of offered, I'd say, the best opportunities available to a black child from a squatter camp. At the time, I received the type of education I got, the schools I went to, and all of that, because I managed to go to a black primary school, but there was white teachers. There was that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And then when I went to high school, then it wasn't just the teachers that were white. It was
even
a whole multiracial thing, and that's where I got exposed to the world.
Okay.
I started DJing in high school around grade 8, just before grade 8. And then I worked myself up into being a technician, eventually an events manager, and up until now, where I have my own company. And it's been a very educational journey that I've had. I wish I was documenting some of it.
This is part of it. This is part of the documentary.
Yeah, it's been a very educational journey that has taught me a lot, that has formed me, and certain things that have broken me as well. And I've managed to find, positive people that were able to pull me out of the darkest times in my life. And I'm here today.
It's interesting when you say that, the journey of life, you've met moments where it's broken you. And
Yes.
seeing that you're here, it simply tells us you've overcome those moments, which is the most important thing of it all.
Well, I'd love to think I've overcome.
I mean, you're standing today. A lot of people,
Yeah.
once life deals with you, not everyone recovers. Some people just like, what, this is it.
And I mean, like, the sad part is, ever since I started this healing journey, I've lost 2 friends who never made it to the day where I am, and who are not sitting like me today. They got consumed by their troubles and problems so much that they decided to end their lives.
Wow. Ooh. Okay. That's hard to swallow.
Yeah.
But such is life.
Yes,
And
yes, it is.
And it proves that you do not allow circumstances to overcome you.
Yes.
Mentally, physically, emotionally. You stood it. And today you're able to speak on it.
Absolutely, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't. I mean, like, to put it in another way. Sure, this life that we are living is not for the weak. And it's not for the faint-hearted. For you to grow old, you need to be strong.
Yeah.
You need to be very strong to grow old. There's people who die at 21. Some died less than that.
It's true.
And you kind of like, every time a person is dead, I don't know how in your culture you look at it, but in our culture as a Kasi boy, when a person has passed on, we comfort ourselves by saying, he's resting wherever he is.
Yeah. No, it's true. Same here as well. We say he's in a happy place.
He's in a happy place. Yeah. That's what we wish for.
Yeah.
So I'd say there's a lot of people who wish to walk, who wish to talk, who wish to go out, who wish to do a lot of things that we take for granted as ordinary people.
Yeah.
There's a person who's sitting on a wheelchair right now. They can't get up. There's a person who can't talk. There's a person who can't bath themselves. There's a person who is mentally unstable. They don't know what they are doing. They don't know where they are. They don't know what's going on in their lives. So I've been exposed to so many messed up situations and scenarios, to a point where I had to decide whether am I going to continue being a bum on the streets, or I'm going to use that opportunity of being a bum to work myself back to where I should be. And I decided to work myself up to where I should be. And I guess me sitting here today and being able to share my story with the rest of the world, I feel, for me, it's some kind of closure which I never got. It's a part of me saying I am healing by myself, even though I didn't get the apologies or the sympathy that I felt I needed to get from whoever that has crossed paths with me and treated me another way. I had to, through this healing process of being involved in GBV and starting off by being a person who receives it, and then eventually you start giving it. And, for me, it's a story of saying, I wish I had a male figure that was going to tell me what a man is, what a man is expected to be, what a man's role in life is. I wish I had somebody like that who could just hold my hand. And even when I get into situations where I should have waited, and situations where I saw red flags and I saw that I shouldn't be here, I don't belong here, I'm not wanted here. But because of this stupid thing we call love, and you end up staying in situations longer than you should.
Yeah.
And when you do that, that is you starting a war on yourself. When you do that, you literally starting a war on yourself, because you're going to open yourself up to things that you are not ready for, to things that you are not coached on, to things that, I mean, it's funny. It's just, this thing just came into my head now, and I think it's relevant for me to just mention it. You know, in life, we learn a lot from what we see. And what's happening
surroundings
around
around us, yeah.
And we think we know everything because we've seen a person fall, we've seen a person break a leg, you've seen a person die, you've seen a person dead. So you think you know it all, only to find out that everything that happens in life is there to test us, to mold us, to push us, to get us out of situations that we are too comfortable in. And whatever we go through in life, it is very important to remember that that thing is not there to kill you. Because if it was there to kill you, you wouldn't wake up that morning. It would have killed you in your sleep. That would be the easiest job to do for a hitman. But since you are alive and you have woken up in the morning, it doesn't matter where you woke up, on a pavement, on the side of the street, in somebody's house, on a friend's couch. It doesn't matter. But the fact that you have woken up that morning, it means God still has something to do with your life.
You know, now that we've set up, like I say, we've set out the atmosphere, let's not get into the gravity of what you actually went through. I know we had a brief discussion of what it is that you actually went through as a man in the relationship that you were in, and how things unfolded. And I know there's levels to this entire story. And I'm really hoping we can get into every aspect of it, obviously, without, going on and on, because this is the experience that will be with you for the rest of your life. So let's just start off with how did you and this person meet, and when do you think that it switched into from that, honeymoon phase into now what it
the sour phase.
So how did you guys meet, and when did that switch happen, or when do you think that switch happened?
Look, and let me be outright honest,
please,
from the beginning, so that anybody that is watching this and that wants to come back to me and say, you said, so that I can be able to be confident and say, you know what, it is what it is. I didn't fabricate or add
filter anything,
or add any spices on it. I met this girl. It was one of those drunken weekends when you're out with the boys. And you're just getting up to mischief. It's like all you're doing is just bouncing from one place to another, drinking, party hopping. Yes. Eventually, I ended up at this friend's place somewhere in Meldersdrift. His name is Sipo, and with Sipo, I mean, like the type of person I am. I love to create parties wherever I go.
You like the party.
So when we got there, we were chilling and we were bored. And I was like, Sipo, I wish I could be playing right now, as a DJ. And I'm like, I want to play. And then he was like, okay, so what are you thinking? I was like, okay, let's go back to my place, collect the sound system, come back here, connect, and I can play while we chill. And eventually that ended up as a party now. And somewhere in the middle of the night, in my drunken state, I see this lady. She was with a friend. And you know what? Booze.
So you already, at that time, you were already on the edge already at the time.
Hey, I'm hot at that time and I'm seeing this lady.
And you're playing already.
And
so you were in your element already, at that time.
I'm in my element. We're playing, we're mingling, and see this lady. And the one thing that really grabbed me with this lady is she was very easy.
She was very easy.
Yeah. She was very easy, she was easy to talk to. She was that person that
She was getting along. She was getting along with the flow. Yeah.
and it did. And then, that fling from that night, leaked into other days. And eventually we started speaking on a regular. And,
So you got her numbers on the day?
got her numbers on that day. Yeah. And called, later in the week, and we're chatting and all of that. And I think about 2 weeks passed, and we're just like, girlfriend and boyfriend on their phone, WhatsApp calls, and kind of like the honeymoon phase starting.
Yeah.
And it was all good in the beginning. And I mean, like when she came into my life at a time where I was very lonely. I was
lonely, is it emotionally lonely or just?
No, it was just a lonely life. I was
Just a
staying
lonely
alone.
phase. Aha, okay,
I
I
had
get
nothing
you.
else to do except work.
Okay.
So my life, those days, I was a technician, I was a DJ, and I was an events manager.
Okay.
And I was working and freelancing for different companies. So I was traveling all over South Africa. I was moving and I was working, being productive work-wise. Financially, I was sort of okay. Not okay,
Yeah.
but I was
You're doing good. You're okay.
doing
Yeah.
okay, And we hit it off, and a year later, she was pregnant. And then, when she told me
This is
that,
your pregnancy.
yes, this is my pregnancy. And when she told me, at the time she told me, and everything that had been happening around that time, I would be an idiot to say, that's not mine.
Okay. Okay.
So I know that, I knew there was so much positive
Signs that
showed
that this is yours.
mine, calculating the days, the months, and and you're like, okay, cool.
And plus, you need to be sure at the time. Like, okay, let's just be sure that this is actually right. Yeah.
And then after that happened, a shift in my head happened, and I just wanted to stop this freakish life I was living. I wanted to stop this nightlife, overdosing of things from party to party. You're not sleeping. You're spending everything you make tonight. Tonight,
I'm not thinking about tomorrow. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to get out of that, and I really wanted to take up and man up.
I was about to just say that.
And take responsibility, because I had grown up in a situation where I didn't know my dad. And I think the first time I saw my dad, I was around 14 years. And that was the first and the last time I saw him.
So your dad walked out of your life?
Yeah. Actually, he walked out of my life before I was even born, because apparently he was an abusive guy, according to what my mother tells me. But hey, guess what? What mothers say is not always the truth.
There's always two sides to the story.
I was yearning to hear his side of the story. So at some point in my life, during these
as you were growing up and
experiences, I went and tried, and I went to Cape Town and I tried to look for him.
Oh, okay.
I found him. When I found him and asked him, and that was the only question I had for him, and I asked him, like, what happened?
What happened? Yeah. I mean, every son is.
Was the situation really that bad that you couldn't reach out to me? That even now, when I'm coming to you now as a grown-up man and saying, Dad, I need direction, I need guidance, I need you as a dad to play that dad role
in my life, yeah.
And guess what? He's just too happy living his life where he is.
Oof. And how many years apart was this that you were away from him? Oh, you said he wasn't even there for a moment. He wasn't even
there up until I was 14. And even after 14, he was in there. But I started knowing he was there.
So you knew that he existed.
And I started meeting his family and all that. Listen, my situation with my dad is I am closer to my aunt, which is the younger sister to my dad, than my dad. And I think I haven't spoken to my dad. It's been, 7-8 years now since I left Cape Town.
And you're the firstborn.
Yeah, I am the firstborn. Well, according to what people say. So I don't know. According to him, you know, guys.
He probably has. It's true. It's true. Okay. So that means probably when you saw that your girlfriend was pregnant, that flicked like, I don't want to be like my father.
It flicked a switch in my head, and I just wanted to be the best man I can be, and I wanted to raise my son the best way I never experienced.
yeah.
And the way I wanted to raise my son is exactly the same way I used to see other fathers at school dropping their kids off, picking them up, taking them to a soccer match, a rugby match. I wanted to build that with my son, but unfortunately, that happened at the wrong time. You know, when it's time for rugby, it's time for rugby. When it's time for soccer, then it's time for soccer.
Okay.
So that time it was time for rugby. It was time for pushing and shoving and tackling. And but unfortunately, you know, today I'm sitting here. I feel like I got robbed of that opportunity to bond with my son, to raise him the way I want to teach him the stuff that I want to teach him, to be around him when he's forming his early years.
Yeah.
You know, me and my son had a very close bond, even from birth. We were very tight.
So you were there at the birth of
I was there at the birth. I was there up until, I mean, I left my son's side when he was just over 2, going to 3. Just about your son's age.
Yeah. So my son just turned 2. Yeah.
Yes. And I mean, like, as a father, there's times you bathe him, there's times you...
That's true, man. I feed him, I dress him.
Feed him and the bond you create during that moment, it's irreplaceable, because I see it sometimes when I talk to my son on the phone, and the way he responds, the energy he brings back, and you know, and he's such a lovely soul to the point where I feel like I've messed up so much that I've let him down. I mean, he doesn't know that I've let him down yet.
He doesn't understand the
dynamics, but at some point he's going to be wise enough and smart enough to understand what happened. And that is why I wanted to do this kind of podcast, so that 15, 20 years later, when he bumps into this, he can basically maybe look at me in a different
and understand
eye. That, but if it doesn't happen, I'm still good. I still got my peace,
true,
and managed to, you know, make peace and settle with myself.
So what happened during that time, before we get back to you and your partner at that time, between you and the child, from the birth and the separation of you and the child?
Oh, the birth.
What happened?
The birth was awesome, dude. Was awesome.
So you were there in the room?
Not in the room. Not in the room. I was actually doing a gig in Rustenburg when he was born.
The
night he was born, I was gigging in Rustenburg. But then I came back, I think on the Monday. Then on the Monday when I came back, my ex's family at the time had picked her up from hospital and taken her home, and that's where I saw her and got to meet the child and everything. And then after that, I, you know, did everything with her. Clinics, I was there, taking her for the first clinic
and everything.
Home affairs, that birth registration situation. I wanted to be there so much, but you know, things happened and I was away, and she had to do it, and she eventually did it without me. And you know, that time after we met, it was all good, bro. I mean, I was not a complete useless guy. I was not a complete useless guy. I was that guy who tried what he could, and
so you had some sort of direction. You knew.
I knew
where
I
you
was
were
going,
heading to,
and I had everything figured out. Up until this baby came. When the baby came, I had to now
things that
switch
changed.
everything. And I really poured my heart into it. I even moved, you know, started to try and, you know, get myself into a stable situation so that I can be a better father and be in a space where I can welcome him, be able to raise him well and all of that. So that was all the stuff that consumed me at the time. I wanted to do it so much. I wanted to step up so much. But things changed when lockdown hit.
But before you get there, do you feel as though you will put too much pressure on yourself to not be your father? Or did it just happen that you just wanted to do things differently? Is this you putting pressure on your personal self? Or you just found yourself just naturally wanting to do things differently?
You know what? I found myself in this situation, and then I immediately accepted and took accountability and responsibility of the position I was in, and I decided with my heart that you know what, yes, I have a career that I'm working on. Yes, I want to achieve a lot of things in my life, but I cannot leave this boy idling. You know, I really need to be there, and which is the reason why I'm still trying to keep contact and stay in touch with him. I mean, I've been seen him for over a year now.
So I'm going to assume that this was not a plan, right? This is something.
This wasn't a plan. I had to step up and become a man that I had not planned on to be.
At the time, that was not
me when
convenient
we
for
met
you,
with this girl, I was just playing. At some point, I even told her in the relationship, and I told her, I was like, hey, when we first met, it was just a hit and run.
One of those things, yeah.
It was just a hit and run situation. But since there is somebody involved now, I need to step up. And that's why I stepped up and I stayed close to her. And even when she told me that, listen, dude, I don't feel this anymore. I don't want you anymore. I don't want this anymore. And as a guy that is going through his own vibe of mental issues, where you are unemployed, your income is stopped. You can't do anything, and there's days where there's no food, and she comes to you and she says like, so what's the plan? And I'm like, I have no plan. And she will go for that one time, go ask her sister or her mother or somebody in her family to help out, and that help out for that moment. And it eventually, built up to this thing where I was becoming a useless man in her life. She even said it in her own words at some point.
She voiced it.
Yeah, she voiced it that, you know what, you're so useless. You are not worthy to keep around. I wish I could just, take you, go drop you somewhere, and you become someone else's problem and not my problem. And at that time, it hurt like... It hurt.
Can imagine.
You know when you feel crushed?
Yeah.
But after the crush, you're
It's
still
a tough
alive.
one.
You're still alive. and to be honest with you, everything that happened during that time with me, that's all the lessons I had to learn in hindsight when I think about it now. This woman changed so much after I could not provide. Changed completely.
This is in the pandemic, you say?
This is in the pandemic, my brother. Right in the pandemic and just after the pandemic. And she changed, my brother. She started going out like nobody's business. And she started drinking like nobody's business. Ooh. I mean, at random times, there'd be guys knocking at my door. And when I open the door, she's standing there about to fall over. Whoa. And I have to help her in the house and that kind of vibe.
Wow.
That's the kind of situation I was in. And remember, me, I'm this multiracial education kind of guy that is kind of like,
you're a bit more open-minded
and accepting on certain things. I can, level up on certain issues and stuff like that. So it became that situation. And then it became a situation where she started sleeping with neighbors. And she started sleeping with her best friend's boyfriend in the same vicinity. Like in this complex we are in now.
Goes 2 blocks
she just
down.
goes 2 blocks down the street and comes back. And it became that thing. And I felt
that's degrading.
Yeah, degrading. I felt powerless.
Strips you of everything, yeah.
And but at the same time, I don't know where I got this mind. I still had that thing to want to try. Yeah. But to be honest with you, I didn't know what I was trying for.
And the child is already there at the time.
Child is there. So my excuse for overstaying in that toxic situation is that I didn't want to see what is happening to my son now.
Yeah.
What I was trying to avoid by overstaying in that toxic environment
is now what's happening.
Is now what is happening.
With you in it, yeah.
Either way.
Yeah.
So it happened like that, and eventually, when you have a girlfriend that is an alcoholic, and she's not aware that she's alcoholic, and she has a circle of friends and family who are also alcoholics, but they are not aware that they are alcoholics.
So no one has accepted the reality that this is our issue.
So for them, it's just normal life.
Yeah.
Siyaphuza vele ngama weekend.
Phuza Friday, phuza Saturday.
Siyabshaya vele. As long as bukhona siyabshaya. So she started revealing that side of herself, along with the little I don't know what to call it, flings or relationships or whatever she was doing on the side. And now I started, catching messages on the phone. If it's not on the phone, then it's probably her sneaking around in the house.
So at this time, are you guys still dating, or do you just now just partners in the house? You're just now cohabitating?
Dude, we're cohabitating.
So at that time, the relationship is done.
That actually, listen, the relationship was done long time ago, right? But as soon as she says the relationship is over, I don't want you anymore, and blah 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 blah, we'll get into an altercation or an argument, and then there's a fight, and then there's like other guys, her inkabis, if I can call them that way. Yeah. Because eventually the situation escalated to a point whereby if me and her have an argument or a fight, I'm going to start hearing from her brothers, her cousins, her friends, her boyfriends, and that kind of...
So now she's taking the matters from inside, taking it outside.
And now she's bad-mouthing me to everybody that she's
in contact with,
getting alcohol from, getting food from, and getting whatever else from. And she started slowly painting me as an abuser, as a guy that's not okay upstairs. Like, you know how women can actually make you mad when you're not
very
mad?
manipulative, man.
You will see her coming out of a guy's car and be like, I saw you coming out of that car. And then she'll be like, no, man, it's your
imagination.
It's your imagination. You see what I told you. You need to get a job. You need to get a job. You see what I told you? This thing of yours of not working is making you... It's making you...
making you see things now. Play with your mind. Wow.
And tell you what, the kind of manipulation that women in a relationship master over the guy still needs to be studied. The kind of power and manipulation, and listen, a woman can make a guy drive from Joburg to Cape Town.
No, that's true.
A woman can make a guy drive from here to Cape Town, but if that guy is at work and he's on duty and they ask him to take a trip to Cape Town, he's going to be like, hey, Cape Town, you're so far.
You must pay for everything, you must say.
But a woman will make you jump out of a flat and...
Men pay for trips for women to fly over, like really.
You understand? So for me, I was caught up in a situation where I now, because of not understanding who I am and saying, actually, these people don't know me. And at that time in my head, I'd be thinking of her, I'd be thinking of her family, I'd be thinking of her friends and all the guys around her. Yeah. And I'd be like, actually, these people, they don't know me. They don't know what I'm capable of. They don't know what I can do. They don't know what I still plan to do. But unfortunately, at that time, I was just a mahlalela. Just a nobody.
Just one of your low moments at that time.
All of those.
Yeah.
And look, at the end of the day, that is why I was even speaking at Men's Dialogue in Mohale City last week. And as I was speaking to the young guys, I told them, I said, I don't want my story to be a revenge to this woman.
This person, yeah.
I don't want my story to be a situation where I'm trying to create toxic realities within it. But I encouraged young guys to focus on themselves first, which is the biggest mistake we do.
Yeah.
We don't, as guys, we don't focus on ourselves first and say, let me build myself up to where I have a decent house, I have at least a car, I can pay your own funeral policy.
Yeah, because you need one. As a man,
you can pay your own funeral policy and do all of those things. And build yourself. Like, properly build yourself. Don't take shortcuts, because it's very tempting to take shortcuts, but it doesn't work in the long run. And, us guys, everything that happened to me in this relationship, I'm going to try as much as I can between now and the rest of my life to not try and paint this woman as the devil. Even though she acted like one a couple of times, and, I saw the tail and the horns, but But I do not want to keep her there and say she did this to me. What she did to me, in her own way, I now, in hindsight, after counseling and all of these things, you know, and remember, for guys to go to counseling, it means they have no choice.
Yeah, that's you know, when say you've hit rock bottom. Yeah, that's when you be like,
When you willingly submit yourself to counseling and seeing people that can assist you and all of that. And by the way, I know we're jumping all over this story, but you know, at least
it's a conversation.
Yeah, and you know, there was a time when I started realizing this, what I was in, and what was happening to me, and it was so heartbreaking for me to realize that, you know what, as much as I love this woman and I love my son and I want to be there for my son, but at this point, this is not going to work. And I accept it in my heart. And once I did that, I remember a week later, one of my ex's cousins just had recently got a job at some police station in Mahalis, those farms there. He got a job there. And when he got a job, it was a big thing that, you know, he's working and he comes back, he's got money, he's paid up.
He's providing now, he's coming to a table.
Not even providing, he's just coming to entertain these girls. I mean, my baby mama, my ex right now, she comes from a family where there's like 5 girls in the family, even more, like with the distant cousins
and distant relatives.
That's a yard that had a huge number of girls. And you see, what happens with girls, their framing of mentality is different to guys.
Yeah.
The framing of girls is to choose a guy that can spoil them.
And give them what they want and meet
so
their
they
cravings.
can get what they want and all of that. And they always advise each other to go for the best guy, to ask for the best things and that kind of thing. So I feel that a lot of people got into her head, but I was also in a situation that was not good.
Yeah.
So for a woman to be proud of a man that is not working is never going to happen. We can wish as guys to say, if I'm unemployed and I can't provide, I wish my woman would stick by me
Step up
till
before that time frame,
I can come back. But in reality, women don't have that time.
And plus, the mindset of a woman is not set up like that.
They don't have that time. And remember, women, most of the time, for them to survive, it's a strategic positioning thing. They have to strategically position themselves, put themselves in places. When a woman wants a rich guy, she will find a rich guy. Because she's going to learn all the tricks of what the rich guys look for, and then she's going to try
position
and
herself in that place so that when he's around there, he sees him and everything works out according to the way she moves things around there.
Exactly. So I tried so hard from my side to prove, to go out and provide. You know those situations where you're unemployed and you see guys who are just taking trips of building soil from one place to another, and you can see these guys are getting this thing there, and then they are delivering it there, and then that time you are sitting, you're unemployed, you are hungry, the child is hungry, and you know you have things to take care of, but the situation is just not
conducive
good enough,
at that time,
conducive. And then you decide, let me talk to these guys. Hey, gents, what's up? Don't you guys need extra person to help you?
Labor,
Then the guys are like, come. Cheap labor, the cheap labor jobs are always available. So I'm jumping into Bucky's. I'm dirty the whole day, bruh. Can you imagine her friends that see me now?
What they thinking now at that time?
From this guy who used to be a promising DJ, coming
you
up
had
the
something
ranks.
going on.
This guy who used to be on radio, this guy, what's going on? So it was that kind of a situation. In hindsight now, I think if I knew what I know now, I would have actually packed my bags and left her the first day she told me that she doesn't want me anymore.
Yeah. That's deep, eh?
I would have packed my bags the first day she said, Yazin, this thing is not working for me. But us guys, we always have that thing of convincing, proving yourself.
Yeah.
No, man, this thing can work. This thing can. And guess what? I'm in a remote area where I have no family, close people around. I had one family member around her area, but it was not that situation where I can actually go to them and fall on their door and say, this is the situation. This is what I'm going through. So with me personally, I've always been a loner my whole life. I've always been a loner my whole life. I never quite fit in anywhere. When I was growing up and I played rugby in high school, when I get to Kasi, I'd be labeled a cheese boy, a coconut.
Because
someone who's trying to be white to a certain extent. And I've always, in the Kasi where I belong, I couldn't fit in.
You're no longer part of it.
When I speak now, the way I speak English, for some reason, it's different to some people.
They hear it differently.
They hear it differently. And then it's that situation where I've never really fit in anywhere. I've always been this person who jumps around and all of that. And as guys, it's very embarrassing that as guys, we actually do not take our mental health seriously. We actually don't even know what that means. We still need these psychiatrists and doctors to put it in simpler
forms. Layman term for us to understand it. Before we go to the mindset thing, because that's also another very important part, I do also want us to touch on that.
Yes.
But before we get to the part, so far we've actually spoken on how you've been emotionally abused throughout this relationship. At any point in time, does it turn physical? Or has it just been her cursing you out, calling you names and embarrassing you publicly based on her actions? At that point in time, does it turn physical? That she become physical towards you, or do you become physical towards her because of something she said? Or I don't know, she got home and you're not happy and you does it happen? Because now you've established that emotionally, she actually put you through the most, embarrassed you through her actions, her speech, her conduct. But does it switch? Does it become physical?
Look, I'm going to be honest about this one. I'm the first person who got physically abusive towards her.
Okay.
Her part in most of this was usually verbal. It was usually verbal, those underlying actions.
Those nuances, they make you think twice,
attitudes, certain things. I could pick up where she is, but in my head, I knew that, one day I'm going to be a great guy. One day I'm going to be successful. And I hope it happens while she's doubting.
Yeah, so you can see.
And guess what? It never happened.
Life, man.
I remember.
Life.
I remember. I mean, you know, DJs. There's a different way of rating DJs.
Okay.
For promoters and people who book DJs.
Okay.
And those levels, a person who is looking at me now, a person that could easily be booked to play for 5,000, 10,000 people, be booked easy. Like, Bongs, you're doing Beresford, 5,000, 10,000 people there on Saturday, you going there. Done. From a DJ that used to do 10,000 people to now playing in Shabins, where you're getting paid with a 6-pack. Because your life has deteriorated to that point where you are actually worthless now. Your services have become worthless. You're an experienced
into the work
person.
industry now.
In the work industry, you sort of become
less credible,
valueless. And that was that period. That lockdown period, no gigs, no events, no gatherings. I couldn't survive on anything. And guess what? That was actually the first time I regret and actually thought about the people who used to tell me in high school that you will never amount to anything since you're dropping out. Oof. And that kept coming back in my head. Like, okay, I'm there now.
That torture, that torment.
And guess what? I remember when I dropped out in high school.
When is this? Grade 9, 10, 11?
2005, 6.
You dropped out from what? Grade 11?
No, matric.
You went,
no, not matric. Grade 11.
Grade 11?
Yeah. Dropped out I think halfway through grade 11.
To pursue what you believe as this is mine.
And tell you what, there was people at that time, they sounded jealous. They sounded, negative. They sounded, like haters, jealous at some point. And I started thinking like, these people are just, And when that happened, it hit me that people warned you.
Yeah.
Your friends warned you. Your teachers warned you. And then the reality now was coming home.
Yeah, that's grinding you. Like, you should have.
If you had taken the opportunities you were given to become an academic, go to university, become a lawyer, or become whatever,
life would have been different.
Life would have been different. I got to that point where I started, because of those reasons, I started seeing myself as a failure. And remember, I'm now seeing myself as a failure based on a relationship.
Ooh.
The relationship is now exposing the weaknesses that I cut corners in high school. So we need to be honest about certain things. If I'm dating a girl, we are in high school, she's bunking class already, on that day she's bunking class and you can see it and she's doing it in her conscious mind, that should tell you that's not wife material.
Yeah.
At least for that
time frame, yeah.
So it means you need to find a better person than that. So if we really looked at the change we are getting from life, because life gives you change all the time, negative, positive, and all that. If we really received the change and looked at the change and thought on the change, it would give us different perspectives on what we see in reality today. I remember just as I was building myself up into counseling and all of that, when I realized that, okay, you know what? I think I need to submit. I was homeless. And after that situation, I was homeless for about 3 years after that. I only became... I only started having an address of my own place about a month ago. Oof. Actually, 2 months ago. And I was homeless. I bounced around in shelters. I've slept on the streets.
And for how long was that? How long of a time frame was that? A year, 2?
Since 2020, practically. Since 2020. Because remember what happened is, after all that emotional abuse and getting people involved in our issues and all that, it got too much for me. And I remember the biggest mistake I created in my life, in hindsight right now, is I remember this guy from Mahalis, this cousin of this ex of mine, came, he was paid and everything, and they actually drank the whole weekend. They were drinking from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, continued on Monday.
So they drank, they pay money?
Sorry?
The money they were paid is what they drank?
They're drinking his money. Oh. He's the idiot now that's...
just spending, showing that he's got the money.
Like what I got to understand is that, you see, women, they can chow a man's money and promise him time and, make him look like he has a chance when he has no chance, and they're just chowing from the guy. And I see that was the situation with him. Yeah. Even though he was family and he was not looking to chow, but from a guy's perspective is he could provide and they could benefit from him at that time. So they used him, and by using him, they were actually messing up their own lives in a sense. Because I remember when this guy came over, it would be a drinking spree. Then this guy goes back wherever he comes from on a Monday. Peace comes back. But on that weekend, this guy continued buying drinks from that Monday, that Tuesday. And I remember on the Tuesday, that's when I put my foot down and I said, you guys have been drinking. You guys have been coming in and out of here making noise. And there's a little kid, my son is there. They're drinking the whole night. They're going to a tavern. They come back later. And it's just a mess. When they come back, it's loud music. And Zulus, when they're happy, they break tiles, my brother. Like, that's one, I like it too. I like them when they do that. I love watching them when they do that. And, I can even jump in and do it myself. But when Zulus are happy, you will see by the tiles cracking and you will know that they are here.
It's a good time.
You will know that they are here. So it was that kind of a situation. And then I decided to put my foot down. And then eventually it was an argument, then escalated to a huge argument. And then it was a physical fight. And this time around, it was different. I wasn't the one who was assaulting people. I was the one who was being assaulted. So it was her family, it was her friends, it was her boyfriends, friends, whatever mix you want to call it. Because she always had like a group of guys around her.
And,
Always. I don't know what this woman...
what she had, but
I don't know or what she was doing for these guys, but she always had like a group of guys. If you see a guy today during the week walking here, that guy is probably going to walk her back at some point at 4 a.m. in the morning from a tavern, and she's lost. She doesn't even know her name. And I was in that situation, my brother, where my voice now became useless. When I say, listen, I don't like you doing 1, 2, 3, who are you to tell me? You know? So the only thing that's missing after a woman says that and you're staying with her, and this is the woman you wanted to marry at some point, and when she asks you like that, what's your next move?
That's it. They've taken everything from you. You got nothing left. You're no longer the man in that house.
Either you get up, go, or you just sit and continue doing whatever. You defeated. Yeah. And there's so many instances where I felt defeated, where I felt like, I was not being seen just because I could not now do what I used to do
as a man.
And, there was a time where I was in my heart, I was wishing in my heart. And I was like, why can't her mother shout at her one day,
That's a extremely valid question.
Why can't she just shout at her and just like show her, because it was a situation where most of the time for her to even notice that I'm around, I need to come back with something that's going to be like, hey, remember you were looking for this? Then that's the only time everything's going to come normal. Then she's going to be quiet for some time. And then, so it got to a point where, and then when it got to that point where I got assaulted on that day, that was like, because remember, 2 weeks prior, I had decided that I'm done with this. But how I was going to do it, I didn't know. But I was like, okay, cool. And when that happened, and as the argument, starts to die down and everyone is sort of going off, then these Zulu guys, apparently it's her friends.
She's Zulu herself?
Yeah, she's Zulu herself. Okay. Apparently these friends or family friends that she had, then these guys started telling me that, listen, dude, from now on, you need to pack your stuff and leave. And guess what? Ever since I met this woman from day one, she has never worked a day in her life. So I was that idiot that was providing up until he couldn't. And then when I couldn't, she had replacement. To cut it. Yes. And I mean, like, it's a very popular story around the area where they live, that, if one of these girls in this family meets a guy and the guy is good, she's just gonna, get whatever she can from the guy, and as soon as the guy is done, put him aside. So that was a popular story that, there's guys that have built rooms in their mother's RDP, what, and invested and this. And at that point, I was now there.
You're not a victim of that now.
Now I was there. Now I need to go and be destitute and leave everything that I've been working for.
So at this time, this place that you're at, this is your place.
Where I am right now is my place.
And when you were with her?
When I was with her, one of her uncles or something like that, that has gone now back to KwaZulu-Natal, had left a room somewhere that he had, and then that was given to us to use after that. But all the furniture, that was me. Most of the clothes, that was me. Everything, that was me. She's never worked a day in her life since I met her. She's working now because of what happened between us. She had to go and work. And
are you guys still in contact? Like, not like on a personal level, but every now and then?
Man, we talk only when it involves the
because now, I mean, now you guys are bonded for life because of this.
Yeah, because of the child. Yeah. I can wish her away or dead. It won't solve anything. It won't solve anything. So
Yeah.
I had to now grow up. I had to go and find healing by myself. I had to go.
As it always is.
I had to go mature by myself. And I don't want to lie. As much as Krugersdorp has this stigma about it being being a farmyard,
Yeah.
and, that
I
kind
love
of thing.
Krugersdorp, man.
But I healed in Krugersdorp, and I gathered myself in Krugersdorp, and I'm managing to stand today because of Krugersdorp. And I don't know if that has anything to do with the fact that I was actually born in Krugersdorp.
Could be. I mean, that's home for you. That's home for you.
I came back from this whole thing after counseling and all of these things that I went through. I came back with a changed heart. At first, I hated her. I hated her family.
I can imagine.
And I hated her family and her so much, and her friend and her close friends, to the point where if I was a person that had like a bit of money in my pocket at that time, I would have put a hit on all of them.
I understand.
It's embarrassing to say now, but that is how I felt about this thing. Because I felt like everybody else around her understood her excuses.
But not yours.
Because most of the time when we fight, it would usually because she stayed out too late, or she went out and came back in the morning, or she never came back at all. Or those would be the reasons we are fighting. So it means she would have done something that I don't deem right.
Yeah.
And when I engage her on it like a
To bring correction and
civilized
order.
person, then she brings out that Zulu
Tendencies.
card. I mean, she had that thing.
The typical Zulu thing.
You understand? It's a typical thing. Like, I love it about the Zulus. It's a good.
It's a good trait to have, but sometimes it becomes overbearing.
You need to, sort of dial it down a bit.
Yeah.
But with her, me being unable to now provide, because mind you, when 2020 hit and lockdown came, I had to sell all my single man gadgets. When you're single,
Yeah, you have your gadgets.
you have all your gadgets.
I mean, I have my gadgets right now.
So you have all these nice things. So at that time, lockdown hits, I've got a DJ controller, I've got a laptop, I've got a spare cell phone, I've got a mountain bike, I've got like all these nice gadgets that a single
Man would have.
man would have to spoil himself or to make himself. I found myself selling off everything slowly. I remember I sold off. Oh, the car was the last thing to sell off. I sold off.
Sold the car as well.
Yeah. I sold off everything. The mountain bikes, my DJ controllers, and all these gadgets, media gadgets that we use for recording and all of these things. I had to start selling them off to maintain a standard of living. Because where we were staying at that time, we were renting. So the landlord wants his money maintained.
And she's not doing anything at this time, right?
She's not doing anything at that time. I have a less than a year-old baby. That baby needs food. That baby needs clothes. That baby needs everything. So that I need to make a plan. So that's why I got like to sell off my stuff. After I had sold off, I remember I had one of my mom's properties that she had left over when she passed on. It's a little plot in a squatter camp. You know, it's not worth much.
Remember, land is worth a lot.
And then the emotional roller coaster and everything that was happening around me at that time, I thought it was the best idea because I was also experiencing some problems from my mother's side.
Okay.
You know how black families become.
Black tax.
Not even black tax. Taking over properties of people who have passed on.
Yes,
in the black families, that is it's disgusting and it's almost all over. If a person is a brother to a person that is now dead, that person has 3 kids, you will find now the uncle is competing with these 3 kids now on what should be shared in the family, on what should be done. And unfortunately, when my mother passed on, I was not even staying with her. I was already out by myself, hustling and doing my thing. And, it was so surprising for me when I started seeing the uncles now. I remember when I was in Cape Town, that place had tenants and they were paying rent there. And everything. I never saw a cent of that money.
Ooh.
And when I came back and I asked, and I said, you guys never sent me the rent money. And guess what they said? No, we're investing the money, we're doing that. It was all stories. But I was like, I knew that, okay, I have to write it off.
Yeah.
Wrote it off. Then stories kept popping up because I'm there now.
Yeah.
So when I'm there, the rent money is now coming to me.
Yeah.
But now they don't like that. So they have to get rid of me so that the rent money can continue flowing their way. So how do they get rid of me? By coming up with all these stupid little
stories,
accusations, stories, making up and trying to create toxic friction in the family and all that. And eventually I got sick of it and I sold the place. So when I sold the place, that was me saying, I just want to get rid of what you guys are after so that I can start living
Everyone's
in
at peace. Yeah.
And guess what? Only to find out a year or two later, I'm now stranded, homeless on the streets. And then, it's a situation where when you come back now to family to say, hey, I'm on the streets, they're like, so what I seen in the Mamako, what? You understand? And those stories that start popping up and all of that. So that's the main reason I ended up becoming homeless for the second time in my life. The first time I was in Cape Town when I went to look for my dad. I was sleeping right in front of Parliament.
Ooh.
I was sleeping right in front of Parliament on the pavement there. And they used to, in Cape Town, there used to be a group of homies who used to stay in the same area. So we all knew each other by name at some point. And, there were gay guys that were going and hustling at night, in the gay clubs in Cape Town on Long Street. And they'd be doing their thing and they'd be coming back later and they'd be sharing food, sharing whatever. So I learned so much and I created relationships that have lasted beyond any struggle that I've been in my life. I've met people on the streets who are now doing well. There's a guy in Cape Town that I met. When we were on the streets, he was still looking for a job. He's a qualified attorney. He was still looking for a job. Now he has a job. Now he's an attorney. And we have maintained that relationship from that time because we've connected and he understands my hardship. I understand his hardship. And we connected on a level that I can say even till today we talk. And, I'm even in a place now where I think I'm healing. I'm over what happened, and I'm trying to build myself now. And there's a certain stigma that is attached to us guys who are abused. I'm not sure because I remember last week they introduced me as a GBV survivor, and I was like, I'm not sure if I fit into that bracket because I think I'm the one who also delivered the same amount of violence towards her and as much as she did to me emotionally, psychologically, and all of that. And guess what? What I realized later after that is that women actually don't even know if they need help themselves, just as much as us guys don't know if we need help ourselves. So it's a situation that has led me to find myself, to understand life now in a broader view, and to understand where I fit in, and to understand what I did wrong that triggered what she did, and what I'm starting to put the puzzle together.
Everything's now starting to make sense as a whole.
And I'm hoping that maybe like at some point I can be able to sit with her and apologize for my part in this whole thing. And if she wants to, she can apologize for her part. And we can find a way to say, okay, cool. We are alive now. And the biggest priority should be our son. And if we are going to continue living and you're living, let us just try and make this whole thing work for the child. Because even if I don't become a millionaire in my life, but I'm working towards it right now, but even if I don't become one, I would accept being a failure that never became a millionaire, even though I had the vision. but I cannot accept
Never having tried.
I never having cried.
Right,
I can never accept that I am going to allow my son to grow up in the same situation I
Yes, you
grew up
did,
in.
yeah.
That would be my biggest failure in life. I've brought a life into this world, and then the next thing I can't
You
do
can't now,
anything
yeah,
to support it, to nurture
to
it.
nurture it and let it become.
And for me as a man, because I had to go through healing, counseling, and all of these things and redefine masculinity. I had to redefine the concept of a man for me.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, they will tell you what a man is according to what is expected
Of a
a
man.
man to do. But it has nothing to do with how the man feels inside. But there's so many guys that I know that I went through counseling with, that I went through this problem with. And luckily, I remember when this whole thing hit the fan and at some point I was arrested. I mean, the guys I was with there, who were in the same situation as me, in there. Guess what? They had nobody to call. They had nobody that stood with them. They had nobody that even understood what they were going through. So even now, when I'm sitting here like this, a lot of people will look at this and say like, "Oh, bongani, extra flavor. We thought you
What
were,
happened? Yeah.
you know, what happened?" And there's situations that you can bounce back from. I'm so glad that I'm able to bounce back from what nearly killed me.
Yeah.
And I'm still here today. So I hope through my testimony, through what people see in me, even through the people that I shared a passage in the shelters, in all the places where I've been, it's I started to realize and to recognize and to appreciate other people in life. It's very important in life to have other people that genuinely care about you.
Yeah.
That gives you a better mental state. It shapes you into a better person in terms of how you respond to situations and problems and that kind of thing. So what happened to me in this situation has made me want to be that guy that wasn't when I needed him.
Yeah.
So that has inspired me now to start an NPO called SISU, South Africa. It's a men's rights organization where we're going to be dealing with structural barriers, discrimination against men, rights of men. We're going to, because when I went through this, I just wanted a guy that was going to be here, hold my hand, advise me where necessary, get me the legal advice when necessary. And if I need to, have that one guy who's going to mobilize all men in the community to come and support you if you are in a situation of need as a man. Because what I've realized is that, you see, women have always had these support structures, these places they can go to,
community,
and we've always tolerated when a woman is abused. Oh, shame! You have that heart. And then when a man has the same similar situation, I wonder what you did.
Yeah, it's true.
You understand? So for a man, it's always really different to get support.
To get that acceptance from other men.
Yes, even if you've made a mistake, it's very difficult for people to say, okay, he's made a mistake. Let us now see the repercussions or the results of that mistake. What needs to happen now? Yeah. It would be a different story. But I've gone through this thing, and I am now in a position where I want to be there for the next person that is going through this. And one thing that broke my heart as I was doing research into this organization, I discovered that there's no blueprint for men.
There isn't.
It's problems.
There really isn't.
So even social development, the guys who are mandated to help homeless people, to help people going through GBV, to help all these NGOs that are doing that, what I've picked up is that everything about a woman has a plan, a roadmap of how do we get from here to there. But for guys, there's no roadmap. And the sad part is that we don't even have shelters for men enough that do that kind of thing.
Even Tombika is a brought up as well.
And we do not have NPOs that actually take over from the main NPOs after a guy is in a situation.
Yeah.
For instance, is with me, I made a mistake, which is at that time when I was with this woman and I got mad and I lost it, I actually bought petrol with the intention of burning myself with the house. I wanted to commit suicide. I wanted to end my life because at that time, it didn't look like anything was
That's worth
working out.
living, yeah.
She was leaving me. She was throwing me out, casting me out, sending people to beat me up. And her family was all
Was also
over
like
being
against you.
negative and, having comments around this whole thing. And guess what? Because of now the background and the relationship that is not so well with my mother's side of the family, I had nobody to fall back on. So each and everything that happened to me, I had to see through it all.
By
Going
yourself.
to prison, going to hospital, coming back from hospital, finding a shelter to stay in, talking to social workers, finding counseling, and eventually going to rehab. Because at some point, everything was just so much, and I had to go to rehab. I've never had a drug problem. I've never had a drinking problem. Okay, the drinking, I might have had a problem where I've caused some trouble when I'm drunk. So let me not
Let me take it back.
let me take that back and say, I've never really had like a dependency problem where you would say, he's where he is because he's using drugs or because of the alcohol or because none of that can stick to that, in an
being the
honest
cause
way.
of everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the cause of me being where I am and going through what I went through was me in the first place, ignoring all the red flags, all the signs, bruh. I ignored all of them. I remember there was a time where I was still new in that area. And I remember I was planning an event there. I think the next 2-3 weeks or in a month's time. And then I was there most of the time to talk to the venue guys and putting this event together, and I was going all over the place. And walking into this place, I leave my friends in the car. I'm like, okay, I just want to see the owner quickly. We're leaving. As I walk into this place, here is this ex of mine, now baby mama, kissing a guy, like in the open and all of that. And I see her, and then I try to
look away. Move
and on. Guess what happened? After that, I tried to ignore her because I was like, hey,
I'm not dealing with this.
I'm not dealing with this. I remember she came with one of her bouncer friends to Sipo's place, the friend of mine that I was visiting there.
Yeah.
And the guy was there like sort of to protect her. It's like, And she came and she wasn't leaving and she was not going to talk to me up until, so she forced her way that I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to. And eventually, I gave her my ear and then materialized. And the next thing led to another. Then I decided, let me give her a chance. Then one day I called her, I think it was a Monday morning. And when you've been drinking hectically for the whole weekend.
Hoarse voice.
There's that hoarse voice. And I call her on Monday and then I'm like, what's wrong? Why is your voice like this? No, my voice is usually like this after a weekend when I've drank. And that's when the first red flag came up. And guess what I said? I wish I had stuck to that gun. I said to her, listen, I think your drinking is out of control. So for that, I'm not going to be able to continue with this. And guess what? A lonely, horny me, 2-3 days later, starts phoning me again. And then, after that, it's, one thing leads to another.
Yeah.
And I had red flags, man. There was times that woman would leave me passed out in the bed, go groove, come back, be dropped off. And I wouldn't even wake up to notice she's not there.
Yeah.
So, like, these things started unfolding and things started happening. And, by the time I realized that,
Too late.
I've overstayed here.
Yeah.
It's too late. And I mean, I lost my left eye because of this woman. I used to be a charmer boy. If
you still are, man.
If that word can be used anywhere near me.
Yeah.
I used to be a charmer boy. I had 2 eyes. I was okay. I was, And then one day, I remember I was from a gig somewhere in Spruit View. And when I came back, she's obviously out doing her normal drinking situation. And I phoned her to tell her, listen, I'm done with my gig. I'm going to be coming back. So where is my son? Is he at the house, or is it at your mother's house, or you dropped him off somewhere? Because that's what she normally does.
Yeah.
When I'm not there and she wants to go drinking, she'll take the kid, go dump her somewhere. And she goes do whatever she does. So I wanted to know where the child was. So when I get back, I can pick up the child and then continue with life. And she told me that, no, I'm at a Shabin somewhere else. But if you want the child, come pick me up at the Shabin. We go to my mother's house. I get the baby for you. Then you can go home and I can continue with my life. Fair enough. I get there, chilling with some guys, some girls. Everybody's there. Then eventually she says to me, no, actually, I've decided that I am not going to stay long anymore. So when we go now to pick up our son, I will go with you, and that's my leaving for the night. Okay, cool, fine. And then she says they need to go find some girl, a friend, at another tavern now. Then at that time, we leave from that tavern to this other tavern. When we get there, I don't know, she saw a boyfriend or she saw a blesser, because she got excited. She didn't want to leave anymore. She wanted to stay, and she wasn't going anywhere. And then I'm like, listen, we still need to pick up the child. I can't go to your mother's house and knock and demand the child at this time of the night.
Yeah.
It was like 3 a.m., you know? So what happens is she decides that she's not going anywhere, and she starts putting up this act of hers. You know, when she wants people to feel sorry for her and stuff, you know, starts acting out, not wanting to go. And then at that time, I'm getting pissed off because I'm tired also. I just want to go pick up my son and then go sleep. Then she starts acting out. And then it ends up in a point where she wants to leave. Then she doesn't want to leave. Then she wants to leave. Then eventually, I'm like, okay, I'm dealing with a drunk person here. I decide, okay, I'm going to just pick her up and drag her.
Yeah.
That was my biggest mistake, not knowing that one of her boyfriends was around. Actually, the guy that hit me with the bottle was one of her friends.
Oh.
But later on, I discovered that that was actually one of the boyfriends, because she didn't have one boyfriend. A couple of guys. There was a couple of us who were fitting in certain categories. She had one for the tavern, one for the funeral, one for the church.
One for the occasion. So what I think now, we're gonna this is a very beautiful session. I think, to be quite honest, I think we need a part 2 of this.
Okay. Okay, I'm open to it.
Yeah. No, honestly, a lot has been said, a lot has been brought to light with regards to just the whole gender-based violence thing, and I'm really grateful and sincerely appreciative that you've actually been open enough to share all this with us. There's ideas that came to my head right now, but you're not going to discuss that off camera.
Okay.
I think also just for the viewers, I don't want to make this episode extremely long, because I mean, as much as I would love to hear all the stories, because it's very, very beneficial and very informative for the viewers. But I think for now, we'll end it here. And then obviously we can always plan again another one and bring more light to everything. But for all the men who have been watching, I just want to say something out there that there's nothing wrong with opening up. As one has come and shared up your story, we've all learned. I've personally have learned a lot. And I've also been able to identify myself in your story in terms of how women behave and how we men also respond to behaviors, and realize that there's certain flags, when you see them, you don't just ignore and say, no, we can deal with it later. Certain flags.
Yes.
From the get-go, you just be like, you know what?
Yes.
This is it. This is something that I'm never going to entertain it any further.
Yeah.
It ends right here.
No matter how nice it is.
No matter how nice, exactly. And also the pressures of just being a man. Like you said, there is no blueprint to being a man. I think women are taught how to, how to behave to get a man. But we a man, there is no blueprint on how to become a man and how to make it in life.
And remember, the basis of the blueprint of women in getting a man, they are taught on the good things they need to do for the man, so that the man can be attracted. And guess what? That's our grandmothers.
Yeah.
Now times have changed.
Yeah.
Now women, they don't look at a guy because he goes to church, he's honest, he has a stable job. No, they don't look at that. They just look at the guy who has what I need now.
Now, yeah. And that's what they want.
And, at the end of the day, I honestly do not want to appear as a woman hater.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get you.
Because we need to appreciate the fact that women play a huge role in life in general. We need women, they need us, even though it's difficult for us to live together in harmony every time, but it's life. It's always going to be like that. But what we need to realize is that for women to do what they do, sometimes it's a situation of no choice for them.
Yeah.
Because after I got counseling and I got help and this thing, and I started understanding the story properly now, I started understanding that, if I'm a guy and I cannot provide, and she's telling me that, listen, because you are here, the other guys out there can't provide. But if you are not here, those guys can provide. So women have figured out different ways of surviving.
Yeah.
So some may be right, some may be questionable, but we all have a way of surviving at the end of the day. And now women will choose survival over whatever else that needs to be happen, just as much as we will do the same.
Yeah.
So I think that this thing is way more deeper than just GBV. It's not just a GBV issue.
Yeah.
It's a life and reality issue.
Yeah.
What we go through, what we learn, because most of what we have learned. Actually, just the other day, I felt that most of what I've learned is useless. I can't use anything that I've learned at school now to help me in a situation where money doesn't work and English doesn't work. If those things, if money doesn't work and English doesn't work, then it means you need to go out into the farm and start putting something into the ground so that you can get something out of it. That's a skills to survive. Yeah. That's a skill that every man needs. But who can come out here today and say, I can farm? Yeah. We can't, because we do not look at the most important things in life. We just look at what is looking fancy, flashy, certain lifestyle, a certain circle of friends and all of that. And for us guys, this is what I'm going to keep repeating to guys as much as I'm going to go out and do more community work in terms of empowering guys who are going through this. Even if you haven't gone through this, but just need the guidance and the direction, you need to be able to get it. So that is the type of organization I'm going to be forming, and hopefully I get people that feel the same way and that want to come on board, and so that we can create a blueprint for women. And I know Ntombi has already started on that journey, and she has obviously brought on guys like me, and there's other guys out there, and there's different organizations that I work with. Lifeline, there's an organization that actually helped me a lot in Krugersdorp called QRRC, a shelter that has actually housed me for the past almost 2 years now in different spaces, because they also have a rehab in Magalies. I stayed there for 6 months, came back, and I had learned so much more in terms of faith, God, growth, man, where I fit in the world, where we should be. And right now, where I am in terms of life, I am at a point where I've seen the consequences of not taking responsibility of life early in life. This is where you end up. You end up, if you don't do the right things earlier on in life and pave the way to where you have no energy anymore to continue living like a young man, you need to have built systems, things in place that will carry you for the rest of your life. So for us guys, we focus on Louis Vuitton, we focus on Nike Air, we focus on all the wrong things and want to show off and feel part of where you don't belong. What's the point of wanting to feel like a millionaire in something when I can't afford it? So it means I'm forcing myself into a situation that doesn't want me. So I've learned so much around this thing, and I've learned so much through going through my own journey. So now I would be able to coach somebody else that is going through the same thing, or somebody that is experiencing something similar to what I've been through. And the most important thing for me is to reimagine masculinity according to what men want it to be, not according to what women say or what the in-laws say or what your friends say. At the end of the day, it's all about what works for you personally as an individual.
Yeah, well, Mr. Bwane said it all. So if you've come this far to the episode, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for love and support. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and you'll get to see more Mr. Bwane again in the next future episodes. But guys, remember, stay strong, stay raw, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.